How many women are truly happy professionally at work? And do they believe that there's room for advancement within their careers? And how much further do they have to go to close the gap to be on the same playing field as men? Well, the Harvard Business Review has some food for thought for all of us. The entity found that between 50 to 60% of men admitted they were extremely or very satisfied with their stance and status at work. As it related to meaningful work, their opportunity for career advancement, feeling valued, and having comfortability with their work and professional life. Meanwhile, for women, that number only stood at between 40 and 50%. Which begs the question, how do we ensure that we give women the chance to feel groovy and seen at work? To ensure that women of all capabilities and abilities have the opportunity to build a sustainable future. Michele Gunn may have some answers to this very question. She's a self-actualization coach whose primary objective is to help professional women and moms thrive in their reclaimed value, all while still cultivating a fulfilling and purposeful life. And Gunn joined me this week to tell me more. I'm Kevin McShann. Let's have this conversation.
Very excited and honored to be able to have this conversation with you.
As am I. So, Michele, if you're ready, I'll take a moment to welcome you to the program. And I'm super excited to learn how you help women both professionally and personally level up in life. Great to see you this morning and happy weekend to you.
Thank you so much. Yes, I love helping women find and reclaim their value and cultivate a fulfilling and purposeful life as they thrive.
Yeah, so let's dive into how you help women sort of reclaim their value and find their voice and why you're so passionate about the work that you do.
Well, Kevin, it's a lot of women still, I'm a parent of some adult children, and hindsight is 2020. I know lots of things I would have changed raising my children, but many women have grown up being the person they were told to be. They were told what value they gave. They were told what they lacked. And most women identify as roles instead of who they are. Like they're a mom, they're a wife, they're a marketer, or whatever profession they have. They don't have their own unique value. They don't understand the value they provide. And a lot of times that brings them an unhappy life. They're unhappy with themselves. A lot of them struggle with depression, or they're going through the motions of life without happiness or joy. And I'm passionate about changing that.
Yeah, absolutely. And you also help moms and professional women really value their mental fitness as well. So tell me why you think that's so vitally important.
Well, this is something that I've learned in my adult life. that we need to be able to control our thoughts. We need to control how we react to things instead of letting society, people, circumstances control us. We need to ensure that we are able to look for the gifts and opportunities in life so that we get the best out of life. And that's what I want for women.
Yeah, and Michelle, I'm fascinated to ask you about how you think we can level and close the equity gap when it comes to giving women, professional women, equal opportunities for leadership positions at work.
I think that is comes down to a basic fundamental level. I believe that every person, no matter their gender, has value. And we need to start looking at each person as a person of value and what they have to offer. And I believe that will help bring equity everywhere in life through for everyone and not just women, but that will definitely help that cause as well.
Yeah, and from an employment perspective, Michelle, I'm also curious to ask you about what level of responsibility do you think managers have to play in sending women to positions of power?
Well, I could probably talk for hours on that. And one of the basic things is a manager versus a leader. The world is full of managers. These are people who actually manage tasks and they use people to manage those tasks to get done. And what we need to groom is leaders that are in management positions. They are people who look at what other people in their on their team have to offer, how to cultivate, how to help invest in their talents and make sure that they are properly positioned to utilize those innate talents and strengths to grow, and that will help bring women up.
Yeah, absolutely. And Michelle, you also say that we have to think about reversing the notion of how we learn to accomplish things in order to fit into societal norms. So I'm wondering how we shift our perspective in that regard, in your view.
Yeah, so it's shifting your perspective. It all starts in your mindset. Again, you need to have control of your own thoughts and not let everybody else dictate what you think or how you perceive things. So, working on your own mental fitness will help that. And we need to really look at what the opportunities and gifts are for people and the situations to make that a more positive outcome.
Yeah, absolutely. And Michelle, I want to take a moment to talk to you about defining levels of achievement and setting goals because I firmly believe that the only standard of expectations we have to meet in life are our own, and once we set a baseline of expectations for ourselves, it's easier to level up in every aspect of our lives. So talk to me about your philosophy on setting expectations to reach goals in life and your thoughts there as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's important to have goals. I did a post on LinkedIn a long while back. I came across this guy who talks about dumb goals. And so I did a post regarding dumb goals versus smart goals because society is very much focused on the smart goals, what you can tangibly see and feel in return on investment, but we often leave out our dreams and our aspirations. And when we do that, we may hit certain targets, but we're very unfulfilled. And you are absolutely right. The only person that we are in competition with is ourselves. We need to work on bettering ourselves and set those goals and dream big. What do you really want out of life? Imagine yourself in 5 to 10 years of how you want your life to be and work backwards in setting those goals. And make sure you set smaller goals so that they're reachable so you don't get discouraged. And if something does happen and you fail, well, I call that a first attempt in learning. Learn from that and move on. and you keep working towards those goals. And yes, it is very important to have those goals.
Yeah, Michelle, tell me, I'm also curious to get your thoughts on the concept of personal accountability and how that works.
Ah, that's a huge one. I think personal accountability is very lacking in today's society. I think everyone is quick to blame somebody else. How can you? I'm so sorry. This little thing keeps jumping on my table and
Yeah,
bouncing the camera.
I told you it would be a more authentic podcast, right?
Yeah, say hi, Kiki.
So your cat's name is Kiki, huh?
Yes, yes, she's still very young and
Very good.
wild.
And you told me you rescued her. So tell me, why is that important to you as well?
Um, because people will call me the crazy cat lady, even though I am married and have kids, adult kids and grandkids. But I found her on the side of the road, on a major highway. It was pouring rain. All the fields were wet. So I knew if I left her, she would not survive. And I don't like to see things that are helpless. So it was important. And I'm just a cat lover, so that made it worse. But
Well, if we find a passion in life, it helps life go by with more joy, right?
absolutely. But yeah, back to that personal accountability.
Yes,
Um,
please go right ahead.
Yes, because this is so, so important. It's so easy for us to blame other people and blame things we didn't accomplish. It's time we take personal accountability in every aspect of our life. If something does not get done, or we miss something, or we don't do it to the standards it should have been, even doesn't meet our expectations or expectations of other that we've agreed to, we need to own up to it, especially when it affects other people. Say, I'm sorry, I didn't do what I was supposed to, and make it right and move on.
Yeah, absolutely. And Michelle, tell me, when you look at building an inclusive culture at work, I work with organizations because I was born with cerebral palsy, and outside of hosting this podcast, I help them build more inclusive cultures. So when you look at building an inclusive culture in general, and for those with disabilities, what comes to mind on how to do that effectively?
Well, I think again, it all falls back to looking at people as individuals. So when we look at a person, we look for what they have to offer and what their gifts are. And let's hope they're different than somebody else. Because if we're all the same, we're not going to get far. We need people to be who they were created to be, no matter what that means. We need to embrace our differences and help invest in creating stronger people who are stronger in who they are and what they have to offer.
And what do you think is the key for women to really value and know their sense of personal sort of worth and accountability as well? So how do you think women should view knowing their true value at work as well?
Yeah. I think a lot of times it doesn't just start at work. I like to say we are not, we're not just what our role is. We're a whole person. So we're many pieces to be that person. So when I work with a woman and we talk about her value, we talk about her value at a basic level, her innate talents and gifts, what she has to offer, and how that provides value to the world. And if she's not utilizing that, how she can utilize that. And for the women who don't perceive value, we really dig deep for her to discover what that is and to embrace it and how to embrace it. And once they have that personal value, they can bring that into their work situation.
Yeah, absolutely. And tell me, Michelle, I'm a big believer in the power of diverse perspectives and really valuing diversity at work. And tell me, how can women really amplify the value of diversity at work?
Um, absolutely. So what they can do is, again, look at their personal value, look at the value of the team, their team that they're on, and even, further out into the company of what people have to offer and how their unique value fits in or supplements what everybody else has to offer. And they utilize that to say, hey, look, I can provide this extra value that is lacking in the team, which is not a bad thing for the team, but it's a great thing for the individual to offer something that no one else has.
Yeah, and also I'm curious to ask you about eliminating sort of the noise and distractions at work, and the key to really honing in on doing a great job while also eliminating the noise and distractions so that you can reach prosperity more quickly.
Yeah. That to me, I believe that the foundation for that is knowing your value, investing in yourself, and working on your mental fitness because everywhere in life there's the noise and the distractions. So you have to have focus, you need to have control. It's so easy to be distracted by meaningless things in this world, whether it be TV, an extra dinner, a glass of wine, just things that are really in the big picture not as meaningful. So working on the mental fitness and making your focus stronger and working on building your own value of your innate talents and gifts, I believe will help that.
And Michelle, I know you have a podcast entitled Cultivate and Thrive. So tell me about the endeavor and what it's all about. I know you have conversations with some fascinating women, so I'm wondering if you can tell me all about it.
Yeah, so I do both podcast episodes and where I'm interviewing women who have had successes in their life, but have also struggled, as most of us do. We struggle and have success. So my goal is to bring knowledge and empower women and how they can build up their value and their self-worth, and also show them that they are not alone, that there are other women out there who are just like them, who have overcome struggles and obstacles and are successful, and they can have that too.
Absolutely. And Michelle, how do you value self worth as a woman effectively in your view?
Okay. Yes. Self value is extremely important. Again, just like there is a lack of equity in the workplace, there's still a lot of lack of equity in the homes. Women need to have that self worth and that self value built up. They need to own it and to embrace it, to be who they are innately intended to be, to benefit the world, because we need them to be who they're created to be.
Yeah, and Michelle, from a general perspective, I'm also curious to ask you, how do you think we all as a society can really value the contributions of others and really uh, embrace the diversity of difference in order for us all to experience progress in life? What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, I think it goes right back to what I said about individuality, that we need to see individuals for the value they bring in the world. Once we can absolutely value each person for who they are, for their unique talents and strengths, for their differences, the world will be a better place in valuing all people and making it more inclusive, because we need to realize we need everyone, not just certain kinds of people.
Yeah, and to that point, Michelle, I'm curious to get your thoughts on what I call the heartbeat of hope and really making tangible progress towards prosperity, both at work, home, and really striking a value or balance between your work and home life. So, what's your heartbeat of hope under that context?
So, my heartbeat of hope is really that I live a fulfilling life, that I'm a great wife and mother. I am a great, now now have 3 grandchildren, so that I'm a great grandmother and a role model to my family and to anyone I come in contact with. And if I can make a difference in just one person's life every day, I know that I'm being successful and prosperous, and that will bring me joy.
Yeah, and Michelle, I know that connecting with moms is important to you. So tell me, if you had one message to mothers specifically about knowing their overall value, I'm curious what you would tell them.
I would tell them, moms, you are a person first and foremost. And unless you take care of yourself and love yourself the way you should be loved, you cannot properly love others. You are worth it. Invest in yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. And, Michelle, conversations in terms of engaging in constructive dialogue is something that I think helps us to strengthen and broaden our understanding of societal issues, whether it be women at work or inequities in society. So, what do you think is the key to having more constructive conversations that really can lead to progress?
Yeah, I think we need to not be afraid to be honest. I think we need to not be afraid to offend, but be mindful of other people's feelings so that we're not hurtful. If we can have open, truthful conversations, we can learn from each other as well as teach each other.
Yeah, absolutely. And, Michelle, my final question for you this morning has to do with your own personal and professional legacy and how you want that to be defined.
Really, I want to be known, of course, as a great wife and mother, grandmother, friend, but also I want to be known as someone who does help women find their value and make their lives better so that they can find joy.
Yeah, fabulous. And finally, tell me if people want to get connected with the great work that you do, what's the most effective way they can do that?
They can visit my website, michelegunn.com. That's 1L, 2 N's. Or I'm on LinkedIn a lot. And I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, and I'm on TikTok. You can find me under my name, Michele Gunn, or you can find me under my business name, Cultivate and Thrive.
Well, I tell you, Michelle, life is a constant game of networking, isn't it?
It is, definitely. And that's
Well,
great.
you will absolutely, because we meet fascinating people such as yourself, right?
And you too, Kevin.
Absolutely. Well, Michelle, I really want to thank you for the work that you do to help women level up in their personal and professional lives and really making them understand their true value to themselves and to the world. My friend, your work in the space of personal development and growth is certainly most appreciated. And I want to thank you for engaging in conversation with me this morning.
Well, thank you for the opportunity. It's been a joy, and I encourage everyone to check you out and to look at your podcast. You have some really great conversations. Impressive indeed.